Picture this, not just a dinner party, but the very roots of Western civilization uncorked with every pour. Where wine flowed not to drown sorrow, but to stir thought. Where roasted lamb and honeyed figs sat beside Plato and Socrates. Where questions outnumbered answers, and the night was lit not just by fire, but by philosophy. This was the Greek Symposium, a gathering where ideas were toasted, truth debated, and the soul fed bite by bite, sip by sip. Centuries before celebrity chefs or fine dining, the Greeks perfected the art of the intellectual feast. They called it symposion, meaning to drink together, but it was far more than drinking. It was ritual. It was revelation. It was where democracy sharpened its tongue, poetry bloomed between pomegranate seeds, and ethics were kneaded like barley bread. It was a stage where gods were questioned, lovers praised, and the boundaries of human thought gently, drunkenly pushed. This was no ordinary meal. This was cultural alchemy in terracotta cups. In the grand polis of Athens, to be invited to a symposium was a sign of status: citizen, scholar, warrior, or poet. But citizenship came with caveats. Only elite men reclined in these rooms of influence. Women, rarely welcome unless they played the flute, poured the wine, or entertained with tales and movement. The night began not with philosophy, but with dipnon, the sacred meal. Simple yet symbolic: roasted goat drizzled in thyme honey, barley flatbreads, black olives soaked in brine, and the tang of sheep's milk cheese. Nothing extravagant. Everything deliberate. The food anchored the soul for what was to come. The crater stood like a throne of thought. A mixing bowl of wine and water, never pure wine, for the Greeks deemed that barbaric. The ratio mattered. 3:1, or perhaps 5:2. Too strong, and reason drowned. Too weak, and insight withered. Each pour was intentional, a dose of clarity, not oblivion. And as the wine circled, so did the conversation. They spoke of arete, virtue, of philia, brotherly love, of justice and beauty, of politics and the stars. It was here that Plato imagined love as a ladder to the divine, where Socrates challenged his peers, not to win, but to awaken. And Xenophon painted a scene where laughter mingled with logic, where joy and wisdom were served on the same plate. These were not lectures. They were intellectual jewels, softened by figs and sweet wine. Not sermons. Conversations. Not conclusions. Explorations. But behind the banter and brilliance lay the shadows of inequality. Who got to recline? Who had to pour? Even the menu whispered of social rank. Imported cinnamon from the East signaled wealth. Local lentils meant humility. Every ingredient carried a message. Every silence in the room a power dynamic. The symposium was both a stage for genius and a mirror of the society it fed. If you could host your own symposium tonight, who would you recline beside? What truth would you chase under the flicker of candlelight? Drop your guest list and your questions below. Let's revive the lost art of thinking together. The Greek Symposium was never just about food or drink. It was about what happens when we gather, when we slow down, pour a cup, and dare to ask difficult questions. It reminds us that conversation can be sacred, that meals can be moments of meaning, and that perhaps the next great idea isn't on a screen but across the table. So the next time you raise your glass, remember, you're part of a ritual as old as reason itself. You're not just feeding the body, you're nourishing the future. Thirsty for more ancient wisdom served fresh? Hit subscribe, raise a toast in the comments, and join us as we uncover the stories etched in every bite. This is Legendary Feasts, where food is never just food.